This is the story of a talented artist from China who had been trained in the traditional way of Chinese art but wanted more. So she came to the U.S. to study at the University of Pennsylvania. Here she learned more modern approaches to art making, for which she was grateful, but was disturbed by something that was missing for her. It was an awareness of a thing Chinese traditional artists called the luminous place, which is a place where one can locate the sacred in the mundane. In the community of Germantown, she found a diverse community that had been defined by the powers that be by its high crime, dropout rate, drug use, and a landscape dotted with abandoned and rubble-filled lots. But Lily saw something else. Being an artist, a student from China, she was truly a stranger in search of the sacred in the mundane, which she found in Germantown's vacant and trash-strewn lots. In those lots, she saw a blank canvas. She also knew that the sacredness she yearned for was something that was already there in the neighborhood, woven into the fabric of the vital stories that lay just beneath the surface. A surface that, as an artist, she wanted to poke and probe. But to do that, she knew she would need to make a covenant, a respectful partnership with the Germantown neighborhood and its people. In this quest, she identifies her otherness as an asset. Like the blank canvas of the vacant lots, she, an unknown, with no friends or affiliations, would have to start from scratch. For her, that meant starting to work and seeing what happened. So, she picked one of those vacant lots and started to work with the permission of the building owner next door. But before she really got going, she knew she would have to receive another blessing. Not from City Hall or the police, but from the drug dealers who used it periodically as an outdoor drug market. She didn't have a grand plan, but she knew at the end of the day she wanted to create a place of beauty and safety. The first people to approach Lily was a drug addict named Jojo. He tried to get her to leave, but she persisted, and as they sparred back and forth, Jojo recognized that Lily was a force to be reckoned with not only because of her stubbornness and creative intensity, but also her humility. In time, Jojo became her community liaison, and overnight, Lily had a crew. Despite her status as an outsider, Lily's continuing presence in the vacant lot allowed her to act as a host for the evolving space. So, over time, the word spread, and people came, adults and kids alike. Jojo also introduced Lily to another addict named Big Man Maxton. Big Man had been on the street as a user for 22 years and had a reputation for being a forceful advocate for his own point of view. He'd also been a tile setter. Despite their tremendous differences, Big Man and Lily took to each other. Over time, they came to trust each other in a way that transcended those differences. In Big Man, Lily had found her first long-term partner. Big Man's skills as a tile setter and eventually as a community organizer became a critical driving force of the project. With Lily learning a craft she had no experience with from Big Man, and Big Man and many other community members tapping into the power of imagination, they were unstoppable. The completion of this first project also thrust them into the limelight. A limelight that revealed the power of both passion and responsibility, hard work and beauty, and the sacred in the mundane. The power of the combined creativity, imagination, knowledge, skills, and experience manifested by this nascent ad hoc community-based project truly created what Lily and now the community had envisioned, a place of safety and beauty. It also created a powerful new story of inspiration and possibility, a new story that was just beginning to take off running. And run they did, but Lily and her growing group of partners knew that to build the stamina and resilience they would need to make their newfound creative energy a sustained presence in the community, they would have to run in slow motion. Both quality art making and community development are painstakingly methodical. Also, as their presence and impact grew, so did the number of potential players. The emergence of these new partnership opportunities required constant attention to their capacity to take them on. This is where Lily's artist craft and the world of community development found common ground. They learned over and over, you can't do this work piecemeal. You can't do this work unprepared. And as they began to consider and take on new projects, the list of potential and necessary partnerships also began to grow. Before she and her cohorts could assess the potential of these possible collaborations, they needed to learn some new languages, though. The language of youth culture, the language of the Baptist Church Women's Auxiliary, the language of zoning, redevelopment, and building codes. And as Lily and Big Man expanded their work, so did the practical and moral imperative to deepen their partnerships, so that they were sharing both the wealth of their success and the growing responsibilities required to make them happen. An important part of their sharing power was not only being open to new ideas, but also making sure that the people who had them were willing and able to own them and sustain them. So, as these new partnerships and initiatives grew, so did the number, diversity, and sustainability of projects, investors, and community owners. After many years, Lily's work, which was now the community's work, took on a life of its own. It grew and proliferated and expanded in areas and directions that were never contemplated when Lily started moving bricks, laying tile, and making mosaics in that abandoned lot. Along the way, the guiding principles remained. Always seek the luminous place as the realm of safety and beauty, and know that every aspect of the work is the art. So, if you're making the art with integrity and accountability, you will be healthy and have true impact. Of course, some of the projects initiated by the village did not succeed. These unsuccessful efforts were seen by Lily as the price of doing business in a community that has struggled for its survival for decades. She described this dance of meaningful creation as 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. As such, Lily and her village planners always anticipated the multiple obstacles and challenges that are inherent to grassroots community development work. She felt that the strength of the organization was that it learned from and incorporated the lessons garnered from these so-called mistakes. And then some projects and events just rose up organically and unexpectedly, like the wheelbarrow races that became a tradition at the village. It seems appropriate that this final commandment is also the one Lily started with in that vacant lot at the beginning. She did this acting as a master learner, an active listener, and a creative catalyst, providing opportunity, raw materials, and direction, respecting the combined power of the art, the artists, and the voice of the community. Today, the Village of Arts and Humanities comprises dozens of parks, gardens, buildings, murals, classes, and events that affect several neighborhoods within a 260-block area in North Philadelphia. Here are a few more images of what that community legacy Lily and those who have followed have created. Enjoy.